Derek Zawonki here with Birdie Talk. I'm sitting here with Jason Boldig at the Taylorville Golf Course, and he's going to be giving me my first lesson. Right now I'm shooting about 120, and hopefully he can change that.
Yeah, we're going to work hard at it. I'm Jason, I'm the general manager here. I do some instruction, however, I'm not PGA certified, so we're going to see if we can get Derek straightened out here so we can get his scores lowered a little bit.
Awesome.
So we'll see
hey,
what we
well,
can
I
do.
appreciate it. I appreciate you taking the time.
My pleasure.
Let's just jump right into it.
Yep. All right, we'll start with the pitching wedge here.
Okay.
We'll have to subscribe to your channel.
Yeah, there you go. I'd love that, man. Hey, this will literally be the first video that we put out.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Off that one. Just a little to the right.
Oh, there's some hamburgers in the air.
All right, give me one more.
Okay.
Get rolling. Perfect. Good swing there. Okay. What we're going to do first, Derek, is we're going to work on our line.
Okay.
If our feet, hips, and shoulders are not in line with the target, it's going to make our job a lot harder as a player. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically, right now you're perfectly in line with that thing out there with
Okay.
95. So I call it kind of the 3 T's: target, triangle, track. So that kind of starts the basic fundamentals. Target or alignment to target is the most important to start. Triangle, the second T, being we want to basically create a triangle between the shaft of the club, our left arm, drawing an imaginary line up across our chest and back down. Okay. Because what can happen is if your hands get weak or neutral, you can see the line between the shaft and your left arm is not in line, it's not straight. So all you have to do is forward press here a little bit, it's called, and that creates a triangle from your left arm across your chest and then down back. Perfect.
It's almost just like push into the ground.
Yes, you're just going to basically push your hands forward, not so much the weight of your body, you want your weight centered 50-50.
Okay.
There you go, that looks good. Then the last T, track your shot. So basically keep your eye on the ball, keep your head down,
Okay.
and track your shot. And then we're probably going to adjust your ball placement just a little bit today too. Okay, good. Now, what can happen with your short irons? Right now we're hitting a pitching wedge.
Yep.
If you hit the ball too far forward and your stance towards your left foot, what happens is at impact, because the ball is more forward, you can actually catch the ball on the upswing, which increases the loft and is going to reduce distance.
Okay.
So with the pitching wedge, we want to break it down ball position into thirds. So your pitching wedge, even shorter iron, sand wedge, pitching wedge, 9-iron is going to be in the back third of your stance. Okay. So picture basically between your right foot and your zipper line. Okay.
Okay.
And as your irons get longer, the more far forward or further forward it's going to be. So mid-iron, middle, long irons, drivers.
Interesting. Okay, so short irons, right, kind of in this.
You got it. Yep, right there. Same swing, and then don't forget to forward press. Remember that second target, triangle, track your shot. Yeah, because our goal as players, we want to try to trap the ball between the club face and the ground, which is going to give you distance. It's going to help increase spin, through your mid irons, long irons. So, if you're attacking greens, that ball should go up and then drop onto the green.
Okay.
And that's getting a little bit more advanced. But
And then as far as like distance from the actual,
from the ball?
yeah, from the
Yep.
ball, from the body to the ball.
Yep. So basically, what I tell people is, whenever you step up to the ball, bend your knees like you're getting ready to sit in a chair. And if you take the club and put it at your belt buckle, you just want to get your shoulders over your knees, and then you can just drop your hands down.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. So because what happens is if we get too vertical, and from there, I mean, you almost want your your knees can be bent a little bit, but if we get too vertical here through our torso, we lose all this mobility for swinging. So we got to make sure basically your hips are going to shoot back, and then your shoulders are going to be over the ball. That way your hands are hanging out more in front of your body here.
Okay.
Good.
I'm trying to remember to turn.
Yes. Yep. And the only other pointer, I'm throwing a lot of information.
No, I
at you
love
in
it.
the
This
first
is
5
incredible.
minutes. Try to get your weight to transition to your left side. Because anytime you're falling, as you swing here, anytime you're falling back and the weight's on your right side,
Okay.
it in turn pulls the club away from the ground and you get thinner shots like that one. Still wet in the air. It was a good miss hit.
I'm just thinking about train.
Yep, there you go. Perfect. Good.
Oh, showed it.
That's all right. Hope your editing skills are good.
Hey, yeah. I'll just go ahead and take one of those off. Yeah.
There you go.
Damn it.
It's all right.
I was having this so we went the other day and I literally towed 50% of my shots. It was
Did you?
it was bad.
All right, pause right there. Hold still.
Okay.
So right now, see how your club face is closed?
Yes.
Where we want to be is here. So that
Okay.
creates a 90-degree right angle. So that's square. So your club face is square to your target, which is where you're
Is that for every single club?
Yeah, you want it. Yeah, because anytime you start out your swing with a closed club face,
It's going to have the inverted effect in it.
kinda it can. You know, it just isn't ideal. You know, it's hard to say what the result might be,
Yeah.
but it's not ideal.
Ooh, this sun is beaming now.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It is toasty.
Yeah, it's like fierce. Like I feel it on the back of my
Yeah.
legs. It's like, oh man. Okay. All right. Here we go.
Here, get that out of that hole there. That will make your job any easier. There you go. Perfect. Yeah, whenever you set up to the shot, make sure your feet are parallel with that glove shaft. Ball's in the back third of your stance, okay? So I got my target, alignment's down, hands forward. So see how my body's not shifting, it's just my hands. My hands are pushed forward. Okay, swing. Head down, trip. Okay. Good. What I'm going to have you do, Derek, keep your knees bent through impact.
Okay.
Because right now we're getting a little bit of vertical movement up and down.
And that's why I'm towing.
Yeah, well, yep, you're topping it. So you're basically...
Or yeah, topping it.
Yep, you're okay. You're catching the top quarter of that ball, you know, when you're swinging. So anytime you get vertical movement this way, again, it pulls that club away from the ground. So whenever you start your backswing, you want to make sure everything is still on and you don't stand up until after impact, okay?
Okay.
That's better.
She's still going?
Oh yeah.
Nice.
I'm just checking out to see what the picture looks like.
Oh, it should be in 4K.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Okay, overthink it.
There's a lot of information in that process for sure.
So like, I kind of want to focus because I'm finding myself. I know you'd mentioned like the point down with your hands.
Yep.
So essentially, they're just kind of like. I know obviously I'm over exaggerating, but like,
No, you don't want them up because then you lose a lot of wrist flexibility.
because I feel like that's what I've been doing. It's like to kind of get the blade into the grass. I'm just like,
No, not so much that. Let me borrow your club here.
Yeah.
I'll trade you spots for a second. So, basically, whenever we set up to this shot, whenever I look at this target, my club is down. I'm making sure my feet, hips, and shoulders are square. Ball's in the back of my stance. Okay, so that's good ball position. So I got my alignment, or my, alignment to target. My triangle is here. But anytime we raise our wrist this way, we lose a lot of flexibility and mobility.
Okay.
So basically, whenever I was telling you earlier about how to sit down in the chair, so bend your knees, you're going to shoot your butt back. Shoulders are going to be over your toes almost, but it's important. You don't want all your weight in your toes because you're going to be off balance. Okay, so you want the weight kind of in your heels a little bit.
Okay.
So
Okay.
weight in the heels, and then whenever you make this swing, so here's my triangle, head down, and then just try to track the shot.
Okay. Stinger. I'm gonna bust another one out real quick.
Yep, you're
I feel like I'm on the cusp. Wow, that felt good too.
You're close.
Gosh.
Remember to keep those knees bent through impact. So whenever your swing starts out, wherever your swing starts out, remember to just keep those knees bent until after you make contact. Then you can stand up.
And is this what the triangle looks like for you?
Yeah, it looks perfect.
Okay.
That looks really good.
Okay.
Okay, good. Now, here's a nice little bit of information or feedback, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely.
This divot right here is parallel to your club shaft, which means it's parallel to your target. So good swing. The only other suggestion I'm going to give you today, before we just start getting a little overcomplicated, your backswing right now, okay, I think is just a little steep. So what I mean by that is, I feel like whenever you're backswinging, the club is coming up off the ground almost vertically. So if we can elongate your backswing here to get your left shoulder pointing at the ball, it'll help shallow out your angle of attack. Ball contact should get a little better.
Okay.
Yep.
So you want.
Yeah, because right now, what's really hard, if you go ahead, like right now your club is coming straight off the ground this way, and it's really hard to elongate and become back more shallow.
Okay.
So drag your club on the ground as long as you can until it pivots. There you go. Try that again. You were really close. Oh, this one just a touch. Slow your elbow down a little bit.
Okay.
It's good to have a good aggressive swing, but if the strike isn't consistent, it doesn't make Yeah, what we'll do for today, I just want to keep you in this pitching wedge or even a 9-iron.
Okay.
The reason being is we got to get the swing groove with the short iron first because it's easier to build the consistency.
Okay.
The longer the club gets, the harder it is to hit in the hit streak. So that's a 9-iron.
Okay. So this is also
Yep.
mid.
Back third. Yep, there you go. A little too far back, maybe just a little more forward. There you go. Perfect.
And then once again, you want the blade essentially 90 degrees with the ball, or
Yeah, you just want your club face 90 degree with your alignment. In this case,
Okay.
it's your golf club.
so obviously if I'm aiming right or if I'm aiming left.
Yep. So that would be a closed club face there if it's pointed that direction.
Okay.
Open would be
Open.
the opposite. Okay. So just make sure that your club face is at least square to your target.
Okay.
If it's not, it's a lot harder to figure out where that club is at impact. Yep, remember to drag that club along the ground so it should look like kind of like this. So, and keep that left foot planted so as you rotate, Eric, basically you're dragging this club along the ground here and then just stop, let your arm get parallel to the ground, and then you can start the transition
Okay.
downwards.
Try to do it in the process then.
There's a lot. There you go. There. Much better. Good
Yeah,
swing.
that felt good.
Good swing. Yeah, because what happens is, again, to kind of reiterate on angle of attack, if your backswing is too steep or you're picking it straight up off the ground, there's no other way to come back down. It's really hard to get it here and then cast your arms out this way to get it shallow.
Okay.
So you're better off trying to take a shallower or longer club path, come back down at the same angle. Nice, good, good swing. Perfect. All right, now check this out. So again, let's take a look at our divot pattern.
Okay.
So if we step back here, you can see our alignment tool is aimed just left of the red marker, and your divot path is darn near parallel to your alignment aid, which means that your swing is good. It's on plane, and what I mean by that is you're not over the top. If the divot was facing this direction, it means that we're over the top. And if it's facing way out this way, it means we're too far from the inside.
Okay.
So that's a good one. Good swing. You're getting it. Good.
That was a great. Yeah,
Great contact.
But it, yeah, obviously went okay, right.
Yeah, just blocked it a little bit. So go back here now. Nice, good swing. So a little interesting fact about practicing. See this divot pattern right here? Whenever you pick your spot, start at the front, work your way back, because you can always put the ball behind the divot that you're making. And what it does, a couple of things. It's easier for us to fill a section like that when it's all in one row. Yeah, a bunch of different divots everywhere. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good course knowledge. I had no idea.
Yeah, just a little bit of practice etiquette or golf course etiquette.
Hey, I love that. That's awesome. That's a good take. That's a very good takeaway.
Sure.
Triangle.
Yep.
Halfway. Weight on my heel.
Got it. Vertical. Much better. Good. That one there you got away with. Your backswing that time got a little bit more vertical, but it wasn't straight up. It was just a little bit.
when I'm going on the backswing, do I want it to be?
Yeah, you want it elongated. Sorry.
No, get that.
Sorry. I'll call it back. That thing rings off the hook. Sometimes I just have to send it to voicemail. Okay, so to answer your question,
You know, it's like if I were to be at perfect top form, obviously you want this arm to not be. You want it essentially locked in, correct?
pretty much, yeah.
Because like you don't want it to bend, because it's
No.
like then you're just going chonky and you have no control.
Yeah, if that elbow bends, I mean, to put it to you simply, the less movement there is in a golf swing, the better.
Okay.
Or the less hinges or
The joints almost.
joints. Yeah, exactly. So the simpler is better. So what I tell and what I try to instruct to people is when your left arm gets parallel to the ground, you can essentially stop your swing because your wrists are going to hinge at the top, which is fine. But like
Okay.
you had mentioned, when you get here, to where you're up past parallel, your elbow starts flying, you're just out of control.
And I remember the last time you had also mentioned that, hypothetically, when you get to this point, you want your elbow facing the ground. Is that
You want your elbow tucked into, like, fairly close to your side.
okay?
So whenever you take this club back, you're here, your swing's elongated, but you want it kind of tucked into your lat, pulled into your lat.
Okay.
Because what happens, I call it chicken winging. Whenever you get to here, the elbow is pointing kind of up. There's no choice but to come back down, across the ball.
Try to keep that in mind.
Yeah, so just keep that right elbow tucked. Okay, so did you hear the contact that time?
Yeah.
Good contact. And you can kind of tell by the way the ball popped off the face. I know the shot wasn't the result we were looking for, but the contact sounded much better, and you could tell that whenever you made contact, it kind of had this, this
And
trap.
another thing that I'm noticing is it's not slicing to the right, it's going right.
Just pushing it. Yep.
Yeah.
So all that's happening at impact is your club face is just left a little open.
Okay.
So all you have to do is get your right arm to release the club, and all you'll do is your right forearm's going to roll over to your left.
Okay, and that's what you were talking about the first lesson last year
Yeah,
about the transition over.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, so now let me try to incorporate that because I didn't do that.
You ever play baseball?
No.
No. Okay. I didn't either really. I played in elementary school, but kind of the analogy I get to people think about is pretend like you're trying to hit the ball down the first baseline. And what that means is whenever you take your backswing here, we want to make sure the club is traveling out away from our body and our hands are finishing high, because anytime you're here and you're finishing super low, it ends up, it's just kind of like a sawed off follow through.
Okay.
So just try to get your follow through just a little higher. Good shot. Pushed it just a little. Good contact though.
Yeah, that one sounded good. Try to turn it over. I think I'm turning it too quickly.
Yeah, that one there, I think you just tried to kill, and just came out of your swing a little bit. To kind of give you a feeling of what it feels like to release the club. If you just hold the club up to your waist, and you just take it here, you want to basically just turn that toe down as you follow through this direction. Okay.
Like this?
Yeah, and yep, you got it. That's exaggerated a little bit, but
Okay.
Because what happens is a lot of people, they'll get here at impact and their wrists just stay open. They just get stuck open. And once you figure out how to release the club, it'll square up the club face on the ball. Good. Now see how it straightened out?
Mm-hmm.
A little thin, but you got your hands to release, which is good.
Another thing is I'm not trying to swing down. I'm kind of just letting the body take the ball.
Yep.
Versus.
Well, and a mistake a lot of beginning golfers make is they have a tendency to try to help the ball in the air, almost like scooping it. So we had talked about it earlier. Anytime you get this vertical movement, people try to scoop or help that ball in the air. Yeah. And anytime you get vertical movement, whether it's through your legs or your shoulders, what happens is that club gets pulled away from the ground, from your starting point. Because if the club's on the ground here to start, and all of a sudden you're back here, and right at impact you try to, raise or scoop that ball, all it takes is a quarter inch and you're topping all your shots.
I guarantee that was my issue the last round, because I would go, I just.
Yep, just lift out of it.
Yeah.
There it is.
Oh, that's beauty.
Good shot. And all aligned that time. Good swing.
Yeah.
Good swing.
Okay, now just replicate it 700,000 times.
Repeat and repeat.
That's literally it.
Yeah, when did you start playing again? How long?
It was, last year we played off and on for a couple months.
Yeah.
And then I got the lesson, and I think I went one time 9 holes in Springfield.
Okay.
After that, so I've literally it's unfortunate because I remember I was actually driving fairly well after our one lesson.
Sure.
But I was kind of able to, replicate that. But as far as obviously there's so much like foundational that I want to set up, which is why it's so important for me, especially now getting into it in from a very heavy standpoint. I don't want to create those bad habits.
Right.
Even if it results to a good swing, you know, it's like if you don't have that foundational aspect. Now, golf is obviously a very interpretable game, but at the end of the day, it's consistency is key. And
it is. Well, you know, that being said, I mean, there are specific fundamentals that can help, you know, a player progress as a player, get better.
Yeah.
But ultimately, you know, I'm an amateur, you're an amateur. At some point, you know, you're going to have all the instructions, you're going to have the fundamentals, and sometimes you're just going to end up finding something that works for you. And that's kind of what I work around as well, because there's not necessarily a cookie cutter golf swing, because everybody's physical limitations are
complete heights,
you know,
the whole nine.
Exactly. So.
Okay, let's see. Go down. Or top that one.
Goodness. All right. And one thing I'll point out too, Derek, I know right now all we've been hitting is a wedge and 9-iron this session. But what's nice about the swing we're trying to learn is it doesn't matter what club you're hitting. All that's going to change is the ball placement. So, you know, with the driver's going to be played kind of up more towards your left foot.
Okay.
So basically, once you start to get your swing groove, don't change anything. It doesn't matter what club you're swinging. The only thing that's changing
Is literally the physical
exactly
movement.
the starting position of the ball.
Okay.
Yep. So with a short iron, back there to the stance, mid iron, middle. You know, long irons, driving irons, hybrids. You know, a little more forward, and then of course once you get into your fairway woods, drivers are going to be up more towards your left.
Okay. So essentially, like.
Yep, with the driver. Okay, you got it. Yeah, let's hit about 5 more shots with the 9-iron. Beautiful. Good swing.
Felt good. Obviously going to the right a little bit,
Yep.
but that's the turnover. I need to focus on that.
It is, and I mean, I asked you earlier how long you've been playing for. It's easy to get a little bit discouraged, but just stick with it. You'll be all right.
Yeah, it's I understand there's a lot to learn.
I've been playing 30 years, and I'm still learning.
Isn't it incredible? What are your thoughts on everything going on with like LIV and all that? I mean, obviously the U.S. Opens this week. And
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you know, for the guys that are accepting the Deca Million contract, you know, it is what it is. I mean, people follow the money, so it's hard to fault them for that.
Yeah.
I think Dustin Johnson, you know, at his age, he's still got some game left. Phil can play. I'm surprised Bryson DeChambeau.
I am too, actually.
You know, a little bit. You know, just because of you know, his skill. I thought he's more of an up and comer, but you know, I'm curious to see how it pans out.
I'm very excited. Like, I'm not like excited from like, I'm just excited from a curiosity perspective because it's never been done before.
Right.
And it's like that oil money is just like.
Well, that's just it. Yeah. What's
I mean, how can you turn down 20 mil?
Yeah, or 200.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Okay. Here we go. Chit chat. That's good because it's like that's what you're going to be having. You're going to have chit chat. You're not going to be focused. Walk up to the ball like you're on the green or like you're on the fairway. If I make it there.
Yeah.
Okay. He's spent.
Okay. I'm going to pick on you a little bit.
Good. I love it.
That backswing.
Okay.
Very, very vertical takeaway.
Okay.
So go ahead and set up. So when I was really focusing on that backswing, whenever you took that club back, it was almost straight up off the ground.
Okay.
So again,
Rotate.
There you go, right there.
Okay. That one put my back.
Oh, good try. Good try.
Okay, but
Good practice.
I mean, yeah. Doesn't count if I don't hit the ball.
That's right.
Oh, I kind of felt that one though, because it's like if you go out, right, you're out.
Yep.
And you come down, it's like just the natural progression of the turn.
Yeah. In the swing, whenever you elongate your backswing, the attack down is going to shallow out just a little bit. And the reason I'm trying to get you there is because, again, whenever you pick up that club vertically, there's no other swing plane but to come down on that same path. So that's why I'm just trying to get you to shallow out. Not necessarily shallow out, but elongate that backswing to get you to rotate a little more to shallow out your descent. Here we go. There you go. Much better.
Late turn, but
Yep. I know you pushed it a little right, but the backswing was elongated. You drew it back, got that shoulder to point down at the ball, and looked good.
okay.
All right, man. Let's let the big dog eat for a few.
Okay.
Break out that driver.
Hey, I love it. Love it. That's what I'm waiting for right now.
you got to have a little fun.
All right. Now I can embarrass myself. It's gonna be great. Well, I mean, honestly, I think one of the biggest factors, obviously, push her to the right, but
Yeah, just toss it down. That's fine.
and
All
then,
right. So I'm going to quiz you. Where's the ball position going to be with the driver?
okay, it's gonna be in the front
Yep.
right
Yep.
here.
That's right. Left side. Correct. That's correct. Left side.
Create the triangle, but obviously at this point, right?
It's not as prevalent.
Yep.
Yeah, with these big face drivers nowadays, most of them are 440, 460 cc's. Tee it up just like you are.
Yep.
You want to try to catch that ball on the upswing and get it to launch.
Okay.
There you go. Good.
Probably catch that one.
Yep.
Hot fly to right. Well, another thing I just noticed in that swing itself, I'm not like keeping I'm watching. I'm moving
Sure.
and then the ball.
Yep. And that's going back to the 3 T's at the very beginning of the lesson. The target, we've got our alignment stick still down. A lot of guys use the little plastic rods. I mean, a club is just fine. There's no need to go out and spend the extra money for alignment aids. A golf club is fine. Next one's going to be your triangle. And then again, like you had mentioned, you're pulling your head, so keep your head down, track your shot. Nice. Good contact there.
And at what point? I mean, obviously this is from a just from like an unethical standpoint. At what point do you start to kind of just adjust for your? I mean, obviously I don't have my swing down by any means, but is there a certain point where it's like literally everyone's just going? It's like for somebody who's in my stage at
Yep.
this point, obviously I want to compensate for that, right? If
Right,
I'm going out, I want to shoot well.
Sure.
It's instinctively I'm just be like, okay, well if I'm pushing a little bit to the right, I just want to rotate my body a little bit, maybe make my angle a little bit to the left.
Yeah, what I recommend is to not go that route, only because you're kind of going against the basic building blocks of the golf fundamentals, if you will. So you're better off
Shooting bad, but keeping
keeping the fundamentals, because eventually,
no.
it's going to all start to come together. And golf is as simple of a game as it seems. There's a lot of moving parts.
It's the easiest, hardest game.
It is.
to exist.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Agreed. Buddy.
Oh,
Good swing. Beautiful.
no, she was twirling,
Yep. Good shot there, bud.
and there wasn't, another thing that it's like, I didn't put a lot of energy into the swing itself.
Sure.
It's like I'm noticing it's like the smoother the swing,
Yep.
it's like versus just kind of like letting it happen.
Right.
Versus
And you'll notice it, as you progress as a player, the shots that you strike really well, you're going to hardly be able to feel them. Like, they're just going to feel effortless, in a sense. Alright, so that one there, the weight when you followed through was kind of on your right leg.
Okay.
So try to get it pushed, like everything looked good there. Just get it to transition this direction.
okay, to transition my weight.
Yep, to the left side or your left leg. There you go. Otherwise, what happens is as you fall off, it helps. I shouldn't say it helps. Whenever you fall off to your right side, it prevents that club from releasing.
Do you suggest when you go up, do you keep your feet planted?
Yes.
Okay. And then when you go down, up
Yep.
until afterwards,
Yep.
maybe because your weight's rotating versus instinctive. Okay.
Yeah, because your right leg. I mean, a lot of people get excited, and you know you'll see them doing this with their left foot coming off the ground. Keep that left foot planted because all of your power is coming from your core and your lower body. So glue those feet to the turf.
And then what would you say is the weight adjustment? 50-50?
About 50-50.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. To start the swing, I would say 50-50. And what's going to happen is, as you take your backswing, there is going to be a little bit of a transition
Okay.
of weight. And what I mean by that is some of the tour guys, or instructors, I should say, I think they call it stacking. You know, to where your right leg is almost acting as more weight, more pressure on your right side. So as you take this swing back, there's going to be a little bit of a weight transfer to your right side. Because what's happening is as you start the downswing, all of a sudden, all this power, all this energy is going to be transferred or pushed into your right side. Okay? And that's where you get the follow through, you know, with your right toe coming over, your right heel coming over.
Perfect. So I know that we're probably coming up right on time, so
Yep.
we'll go ahead and close this out. I'll finish off these last few swings by myself, if that's okay. And then
That's fine. I'll let you hit a few more here.
I can bust them out fairly quick.
You're fine.
Alright, lift.
Yeah, just a little bit there.
I've got a lot more in my bag. Hey, there we go. Save money.
That's right. That's right.
It's like coming up.
If you need to tee that down a little bit, feel free to. I get so used to teeing up my shots, and I've played twice this year already, which is
Yeah.
twice more than I did last year.
Hey, that's awesome, man. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, if it gets to the point where we're so successful, maybe we'll just have like a front nine challenge,
That would be a
2v1.
blast.
That'd be
fun.
pretty fun to have from a content standpoint.
For
Okay.
sure.
Oh man, yeah, I think we tee it down just a smidge.
Yep, that's fine. My only request is if you become a millionaire out of this, just
Hey,
don't,
man, I
don't,
got
don't
you.
forget me, okay?
I got you. I have like for other topics, I've got like on TikTok, so I'm gonna transition that to a golf account. And,
Nice.
yeah, I've got like 20,000, I think.
Cool.
And so hopefully I'll be able to kind of essentially rebrand that my channel.
Sure, sure. I think what you're doing is cool too, because I mean, when it comes to golf, a lot of people see what they see on TV.
Yeah.
And a lot of it, I mean, it's relatable to every person, but the reality is 99% of golfers, I hate to say it, are not very good.
Yeah, and
You know, so I think it's really cool what you're doing, only because it, you know, the content you're going to be producing is kind of
it's gonna be relevant and contextually there for people. Yeah. Obviously, go ahead and take that. I know we're no point on.
Like I said, this thing rings off the hook, so.
Having so much issue. Oh,
Yeah,
am I
you're
hitting
just-
under it or?
Yeah, you're taking a divot. You're just steep, so remember to elongate that backswing.
Okay.
That's all. That is all. Okay. Now, good. That was a good swing. Just keep an eye on your weight, because what happened when watching your follow through that whole time,
Okay.
whenever you followed through, it was back to your right side, and you kind of took a step back.
Okay.
So try to get that transition.
Okay. That makes sense.
Okay. I'll watch you hit one more.
Yep. And then you got to do your thing. I get it.
Yep.
Got to make this one good.
Yep. Tee it down just a little more. Nice and smooth. Remember to transition your weight from the right side to your left, okay? Oh, so close.
I like force that like transition.
Yes. Yes.
All right, well,
Awesome.
Jason, I appreciate you coming
Oh,
through.
absolutely. Thank you. Well
And-
done today. We'll keep working.
Yeah,
And,
yeah. We'll set up
we'll get you
another.
squared up,
Yeah,
so.
we'll set up another lesson here probably within a couple weeks or so. But guys, I appreciate you stopping by. I'm just gonna hit a few to finish out the day, and Jason's got to do his thing.
Yep, that's right. I got another lesson scheduled. So.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Yep,
I appreciate it.
Thanks, Derek.
No,
We'll see
thank
ya.
you. Once again, I appreciate you stopping by Birdie Talk. I'm really excited to get started on this channel. You know, I can't express this enough how incredible the Taylorville Golf Club as an entity of community has been, as well as, you know, Jason and the entire staff here at Taylorville Golf Course. Being somebody who had never golfed before, walking into that environment is pretty intimidating. And, you know, you can always feel like you're maybe not good enough, or you don't have that, you know, prestige to be able to join or become a member or get involved with the sport of golf. And one of the big reasons that I want to do this channel is because that's what this is about. It's becoming a part of the community. You know, golf is an incredible sport. There's a lot to take in. You know, fundamentals, getting that down, just involving yourself. The biggest thing I would say is just get out and do it. And that would be my big takeaway. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Can't wait to build this channel to be something that we can all relate to and connect with. You know what it is, Birdie Talk, keep chirping.